Hello, and welcome to the Pricing for the Planet podcast, the podcast that explores the intersection of business and sustainability. Today, be ready, because that's a packed agenda about sustainability, recruitment, HR, new trends. So I'm super excited to host Hymane today. So Hymane, we have a tradition in this podcast. We start from the end. So what would be the key message you would like our listeners to remember from this episode?
Okay, the one key takeaway that I'd like our listeners to remember from today's episode is the importance of integrating sustainability into every aspect of business operations for long-term success. Sustainability skills will be a must-have, not a nice-to-have. Today, we can imagine that it's nice to have interest for sustainability and diversity and all these areas, but I think that it's a wrong belief, because the future of our children depends on it, and so it's a must-have. And I think that every candidate must work on it and try to understand how he can impact the planet with his work and with a new way of doing his work.
Absolutely. For sure, we are more than aligned on this one. So maybe, Hymane, could you introduce yourself and explain why you think that sustainability skills are so crucial for the future of any roles and jobs?
Okay. My name is Hymane, and I specialize in executive recruitment and consulting for enterprise transformations since 2004. I've dedicated myself to this field, the transformations, but I'm now focusing on sustainable transformation because in the coming decade, sustainability will become crucial for any role, as businesses increasingly recognize the imperative to address environmental and social challenges while remaining competitive and resilient. It's perhaps something that it's not official yet, but the group that I manage, HumanSkills, will launch a sustainability brand for all our offers. And this is something that we are building. It's not official yet. We are working on it. And I think in April or May, we will announce a new brand by HumanSkills that will focus on only those kind of projects, recruitment, assignments around sustainability.
Nice. So we have a big spoiler here.
Yes.
Thanks, Hymane. We feel special. And it's super interesting because it means actually that it's a big announcement, because you are shifting, or at least you are focusing on sustainability for recruitment and hiring processes. So it means you can probably see a lot of trends, a lot of needs, a lot of excitement about this topic. And I think that was one of my questions. What are the key trends? What do you see in this kind of hiring and HR space?
Okay, for the moment, there is a real gap between the demands of the companies and the expectations of the candidates. The companies separate talents in two groups. One side, the industry experts, and on the other, the CSR, corporate social responsibility experts. And however, for me, candidates want to join committed companies and be involved in their own professions while also considering the impact of their work. So there is a gap between the two demands. And the latest trends in recruitment show growing emphasis on sustainability. But I really recommend companies to look for candidates who not only possess traditional skills, but also demonstrate a commitment to sustainability, environmental stewardship, and social responsibility. I can tell that skill sets such as circular economy expertise, renewable energy knowledge, and sustainability strategy development are trending.
Super interesting. I mean, it's a very interesting thing, because we have the same experience at Pricing for the Planet. We see great stuff at CSR team or ESG teams. They are doing great stuff, but it's kind of disconnected from the traditional business and day-to-day operation. And that's what we are trying to do with monetization. It's connect both, and it's interesting to see that even in HR we see the same disconnect. Okay, we will put some CSR experts and ESG experts here, but we don't really infuse ESG and CSR into kind of the day-to-day operation. And do you think it's a question of time? It's a question of a couple of months or years until we really combine both, or do you really see these trends to continue for a long time?
I think it's comparable to what happens in the digital transformation period. It's at the beginning of a transformation, everybody thinks that he needs expert of this topic. And but the fact is, some years later, you realize that the digital is everywhere, and every work is now digital. Every profession is digital. So I think for the sustainability, it will be the same. It will be for the moment experts who will handle the projects, and then a shift, and there will be CSR everywhere, and every profession will be. But I think the launch of these projects are so, how to say it? It's for the moment, I think, very, I don't know how to say it, contraint. It's
it's kind of blocked. I mean, you have to make a lot of compromise, I guess.
yes. And
Okay.
so I think in 6 months, 1 year, we will have, CSR experts doing a job and handling the part of the CSR in their job. And they will be coordinated by a CSR committee or something. It can't be a team in a company who is handling everything. So there will be, matricial organization, but the expertise will be in this kind of role.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I like the parallel between digital data transformation and sustainability transformation, because we're taking the same path. I mean,
Yes.
it will be the same. So we have at least now we have experience, which is good for us. But the one idea that is super important, it's for candidates, for people like interested in sustainability. It means that they can stay in their kind of like current area of expertise, their current like skill set, but they can complement that with sustainability. And in a couple of months or a year, they will be very, very appealing for companies to have this dual like competency skill set between sustainability and their industrial or like key topic areas. So I think the combination is where the magic happens.
Okay.
It's interesting because based on what you said, there is one growing demand from candidates. They want to do both their core job and sustainability. But if we go one step further for companies to recruit the best talents, they have to offer this duality between you will do your core job, but you will respect the planet. So if they do that, they have a competitive edge on the marketplace to hire the best talents while actually doing great things for their own company.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's super interesting. Yeah. Because I think that's how it will change. And I think data was not that, like it was a little bit like that. People were interested in data, but we didn't see this big push from like candidates and people saying, oh, I want to be a data expert. Mm-hmm. But sustainability, it will be like that. It will grow from the field up.
Yes, and I think the ideal career path for someone interested in combining sustainability with digital technology would involve gaining a strong foundation in both areas, so education, practical experience. This could include pursuing degrees or certifications in sustainability, environmental engineering or digital technologies, and seeking out opportunities to work on projects that bridges the two fields. Just as they know perfectly well which tool to use to track the performance, for example, of a campaign or improve the accessibility of a website, they need to keep a watchful eye and know how to equip themselves to address environmental issues with precision. At the end of the day, even if they train themselves, they need to upgrade the way they monitor their industry and business practice. It seems for me very important.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's right in line with the podcast we did with Elevate about GreenOps, about, mm-hmm. It's typical data and IT, guys and people and experts. And GreenOps, it's really like, how do you shift all those discussion about IT cloud allocation with like a planet angle, with a sustainability angle. So it's very interesting. And I think it's makes total sense with what Alexandre during this podcast said. So mm-hmm. It's very interesting that you are quite aligned with that. And actually, we keep having this question, like, what advice would you give to someone looking to shift their career towards sustainability?
First, I think that sustainability is too serious and too complex to avoid solid training and education at some point. For someone who is really looking to shift the career towards sustainability, it would be to start by understanding the key sustainability issues facing industries of interest and acquiring relevant skills through education, training, networking. Additionally, seeking out mentors or joining professional organizations focused on sustainability that can provide valuable guidance and support. I think that there's a lot of serious training, because it's complex. When first I'm in charge of the CSR for the group for HumanSkills, and at the beginning I was, thinking that I was I have an interest for this topic for a long time, and so it was something new. But I really had to understand, the most difficult was to understand how you can't change something that you are not measuring. And the beginning is not very funny. It's, okay, I want to change the world, but first I have to understand how I'm harming the world, what are the data that I can, work on, how can I progress, how can I do less with more, do more with less, sorry. And this, it's technical, it's difficult, it's very complex. And so without, a deeping dive on it, you can't.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Because it's one thing to have the willingness to do it. It's another thing to be effective at doing it. Yeah, super clear. And so even in this podcast, we like to explore the intersection of monetization and sustainability. Do you think actually for the candidate that having the skill set to know how to monetize sustainability could be kind of like a great way to be differentiated on the marketplace?
Yes. I think that when you are part of an organization, you need to, how to say it, to take people with you in your project and to convince them to go somewhere where you need to be. But for that, if the sustainability projects are only costs, it's difficult to attract people with you in the project. So you have to combine responsible efficiency and monetization or return on invest. For example, how can we shift without increasing the costs? This is something that is very important to understand. And there is some project, we have some clients who really are, for example, we work with Castalie. They're a client, but they're also a partner, because I think we have, Castalie?
No, not really, actually.
It's the filters tap water, cools it, carbonates it, 20-minute plastic bottle. It's their business model, and they were one of the first entreprises à mission in France. They are very, very, their purpose is really to stop polluting with plastic, and they count how many bottles they suppress with their solution, and they have a counter on their website. I love them. They are really very effective. And when I decided to change the way of having water for the candidates, for the meetings, for the place, it was less expensive to use Castalie than to buy and to bring plastic bottles for everybody here. So it's the kind of way of thinking that I like. It's not a question of investment only. It's also it's a bon sens. I don't know how to say it in English.
Common sense. Yeah.
Yes, it's common sense. You can drink a good water, the tap water. It's filtered, it's carbonated, it's cooled, and you can have it very easily without polluting the planet and taking the water from the nappe phréatique. So I love this kind of example for me.
Yeah, I love this example actually. It's very concrete, because sometimes sustainability is kind of like very vague. But I like this example, like, okay, you can buy, like Coke and, like tap water, bottled water, or you can use this kind of like solutions, and then it's cost effective and you have a much better impact on the planet. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Win-win. And it's a business model that brings money to Castalie also.
Yeah.
They're living with it. I think it's great. We have another example of a new client who is, the name of it is Bivant, and they were from an event company, and now they create a platform that enables the measurement of the carbon footprint of the enterprise event. They have partners, eventual companies that are on the platform. And if I want to create an event, I can go on Bivant, choose my partner, and know how he works on reducing the carbon footprint of the event. And nice. I can measure my footprint when I'm working with them. So it's you can continue, because there is a discussion everywhere about stopping the investment, decreasing businesses. Decreasing is, I think, something that would be bad for the economy, for for the people. We need to work, we need to live with, and so we have to find a way to continue working and doing what we like, what we love, and in the same way, less harming the planet. So combining solutions that permits that to continue to create events, for example, or we doing a digital project with Carbon Saver will be very easy if we can do all those things the best way, with the best footprint.
Yeah, fully agree. And that's something we believe. For us, it's really, we need to keep making money because we don't really see a world where we will tell our kids like, well, you will have less than what we had, and then you will be, it will be complicated for you. You will make less money, so you will have, a lower standard of living. And yeah, but you need to do that for the planet. And we strongly believe that we can combine both. We can still make money. We can still have a great lifestyle, but we need to be smart on, how we do that, like change the business models, change the way we monetize sustainability so you can combine. And again, this win-win on both the planet and our wallet is super important.
Of course.
It's super interesting. Thanks for sharing, Hymane. One question. So you mentioned about learning more about sustainability. Do you have any recommendation on learning platforms or online or offline courses so talents can really learn about sustainability and grow in this space?
Yes, for me, education is crucial for driving sustainable practices forward. And I recommend exploring platforms like Coursera, edX, or LinkedIn Learning. They have great courses on sustainability, circular economy principle, and sustainable business practices. Most business schools and universities like Cambridge provide short programs for executives that are really effective. I have Campus de l'Inclusion also, that is an association they have a course, Inclusive Leadership. That's great. It's 1 day, and it's really great. And I think that also you need also to keep an eye and meet with your peers. Collective intelligence is definitely part of the learning for me.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, and that's great that you mentioned that because we keep talking about sustainability, but I agree, collective intelligence, it's kind of like an underestimated topic, 100%. And I keep this question for the end because that's it's almost like a philosophical question. So I hope you're ready. What is something that many people believe to be true, but your experience suggests otherwise?
Okay. I think that one misconception that I often encounter is the belief that sustainability initiatives are costly and negatively impact profitability. My experience suggests otherwise. I told you that I'm really convinced that we can do both. And implementing sustainable practices can lead to cost savings through efficiency improvements, enhance brand reputation, and open new market opportunities, ultimately driving long-term business successes. I really think that. I really believe in that. And we can do sustainability and savings in the same way.
No, for sure. Yeah. And I think I agree with it. It's a misconception that a lot of people have, like, okay, it's costly or it cannot bring value to be sustainable. And I think we have plenty of examples now, and like research papers, concrete example. We look at Patagonia, we look at Decathlon, what they are doing. They are proving that you can be sustainable and that the market will reward you financially by being more sustainable. So 100%.
Also, when we work on recruitment, on assignment for companies that are really involved in sustainability, it's so much easier to hire people because when you're on complex positions, rare, we have really candidates that can choose between 2-3 companies. They have proposal everywhere, and they will at the end choose the company that is really involved in sustainability. It's one of the way of attracting the best talents is to show that you are working on that and that you are aware about what you're doing for a negative impact of your business.
Yeah, for sure. And so last question, Hymane. So we understand that you are becoming more focused on this sustainability. So if anyone in the audience, if they work for a company or if they own a company interested in this, sustainability hiring, but also digital and data and combining both, how can they reach you?
Oh, it's very easy. I'm everywhere on LinkedIn, on everywhere. Yep. And my email is hbenaoun@aravati.fr.
Okay, perfect. I will make sure I will add that in the comment section. Great. Hymane, a huge thank you for your time and very interesting input and insights. It was really interesting to hear what you had to say. Do you have any last word for the audience, maybe?
Thank you for inviting me, and I love your podcast, and I'm sure that it will be a great success.
Thank you. If you want to continue the experience with us, So you can follow Hymane. I will make sure I will add her LinkedIn profile in the comment section as well. You can also continue to follow us at Pricing for the Planet. You can go on our website. It's www.pricingfortheplanet.com. We have a free newsletter called the Biweekly Digest, where every 2 weeks we explore these topics around the intersection of sustainability and business. So to end this podcast, a huge thank you, Hymane, again, and a huge thank you for the audience for your time, your interest, and your willingness to learn more about sustainability.
Thank you, Fabien.